1, 2, 3. Welcome back. Welcome back. Returning guest. See, I've been doing it. Also, hold on. Lots of big announcements. I mean, you know, me and Charles were just fucking around playing music. I didn't get a chance to, like, talk about anything. That's why I had to do a whole solo podcast yesterday where I was damn near crying, just being like, I just want my friends to love each other. Y'all can check that out. That'll be out, you know, before this one.
Non-specific podcast release dates.
Podcast, exactly. Keep it vague. Keep the people guessing. Oh, my God. No, but, like, what is it? I haven't had a chance to really, like, talk about I almost forgot what the fuck I was talking about. I swear to God. But, like, I haven't had a chance to, like, talk about milestones or anything like that. It has been a year of the podcast.
Congratulations on your 1 year.
Thank you. Oh my God. And no, and it's like, cause it's like, I was about to be like returning guest. I'm like, hold up, man. First off, not only, I mean, I think I do a good amount of time without any repeats because like, I think I've had like a steady amount of just random ass people. And then like, I've been doing it long enough to have like repeats, right?
I was episode 10.
I know this is about to be like 28 or something like that. So that's good.
It's a long period of time. Like I did your podcast before you did my podcast,
100%.
and you were my first guest.
Bro, that was y'all should check that out. Even though he says he's on hiatus for a little bit, what podcast isn't on fucking hiatus for a little bit? Honestly, bro, you don't have a real podcast until
it's
you
active. It's
until
just
you take a break.
intermittently releasing.
I get that, and that's totally cool. No, because you know, also I'm a little bit too hard on myself whenever I'm like, oh, bro, I'm fucking up. I haven't been releasing like weekly.
We're not a company. We don't have real like a production team putting out these
like
episodes.
12 steady listeners, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's it.
Bro, like it's a one-person operation to produce 100%. And sometimes we have to take vacation days.
No, and then like
and
also,
do the other jobs that pay the bills and live life. Like
honestly, because I like to tell people that a lot. Where it's just like some people are just like they're too over focused on like just comedy, and they're sitting there like, why can't I write? Why can't I write? I got nothing to talk about. I'm like, yeah, because you want to talk about bits on stage. You want to use buzzwords that comedians use for only comedians to understand. Like, yeah, dude, this and that. Like, you know, it's just like using the words only comedians talking. These people in the crowd are looking at you like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like. What? Like, talk about dating. Oh, of course you don't date because you're just sitting here around these fucking creeps all goddamn day. You know what I mean?
One of the biggest, most helpful adjustments I made to my comedy is when I stopped running the jokes I write past comics and started running them by regular people. Because making
like in conversation?
No, like I have a couple of people I instant message like, hey, I wrote this. Do you think like...
No, you're absolutely correct. I get that 100% because I do the same.
Yeah, and it's just, does this concept have any legs or is it just one of those things that only I'm going to think is funny? And if you can find a couple of good audience filters, you can kind of augment a little bit of the open mic work. I'm 100%. Not saying instead of, but I'm saying you can focus group social media a little.
Oh, 100%. No, honestly, dude, like, no, yeah. It is, I'm not saying like, oh, one thing can replace the other. If you can do it all with JamalRahal, 100%, it's 100% do as much as you can. Because, yeah, running it through, like, just normal people who are not involved in comedy. Like, for me, like, what is it? Now that we're not beefing, it's kind of the same now. But, like, before we were beefing, it would always be my sister. And I would just, and sometimes I'm just talking to her. And we're just having a normal conversation. And we're just sitting there just laughing. And she's like, bitch. That's how she talks to me. No wonder we got mad at each other. But she was like, bitch, bro, this is the shit you need to be talking about on stage. Because she's like, it's like when it's like this person you try to be sometimes, like, I'm not feeling that. You need to be this person you are when you're just kicking it. And I'm like, because that's my goal is to close that gap on that person, on those two people. And so, like, I wouldn't have been able to reach that without that filter. No random person is going to be like, oh, you should do that. Like, how some deeply intimate shit like that? Like, same thing with my girlfriend, too. And, like, again, I have to say this, girlfriend and sister, two separate people. Stop doing that to me, y'all.
Roll Tide.
The 12 people who listen to this. No, but, like you could just sit there and have a normal conversation. They're just laughing. And out of nowhere, bro, I swear to God, you're just straight up tagging your own shit.
Yes. And
it's wild.
It's the shots that they come from, like, the random places you get things and you're like, oh my gosh, like
because like when you're telling a story, it's like, hey, you know what's crazy? I never even thought about this part, bitch. Like, you know what?
You ever get somebody like, you ever get a comic give you a perspective on your own joke that you hadn't cracked through a lot of repetitions?
I've hung out with Dan Hornstein before, yeah, bro. No,
yeah,
honestly,
fat horns.
No, yeah, honestly, and because like those are the best people, because like. And that goes into like, yeah, you don't want to like just take away being able to write with comics at all, because sometimes you have like those people who you can really fucking shoot the shit with and chat it up with, like comedians. You know what I mean? Like randomly, Enrique Chacon is one of those people who, whenever we sit down and talk, bro, he's just like, man, I got this bullshit. I don't know what to say. I would never say any of this shit that he would ever say, but somehow when I'm sitting there looking at his shit, I'm just like, bro, I know exactly what you need to be saying. You can write, you can help your friends so much more than you can help yourselves. Like, you know what I mean? That's just true in almost anything, right?
You know who oddly has the biggest voice in my set? Tommy Drake.
I believe that.
Tommy Drake gives me more perspective. You should take this idea in this direction ideas. Like, what I normally do is I'll just spit him a random premise.
Yeah.
And he'll be, oh, you need to take this in this direction. Like, and it ends up, after I work it out, usually being one of my better bits.
100%. I feel
and he's touched a lot of the parts of my set just over the time I've spent with him.
It's all about just the direction, because it's like, this is still your train, bro. You just gotta, hey, don't go down the same old road you're gonna go up to. Where else can you go? Like, I actually, like, the first person who I can actually remember who, like, when I was trying to tell them about a new bit, and now, like, the bit, like, is just a part of it. Like, you know what I mean? Now it's in the set, like, no problem. When I was trying to tell them a new bit, they asked me, okay, where do you want to go after that? And I was like, I thought I was done. It was, of course, Will Loden, the homie.
Yeah. Loden would be number 2 on the list of people who have influence in my set. He's great to write with.
And like, what is it? Even just texting people. I love like group chats. Get you a good group chat with either just like regular homies or comic homies. I don't know. You can find a way to make them not toxic, but I don't know. Sometimes just regular social interaction. God damn it, you know what I mean? Like shit. I even go to the park with the kid, and I'm sitting there hanging out with the other dads. I'm like, how you doing? You know what I mean? Feeling like a man. God damn it.
You have to literally live a little bit.
I know. It's almost like, how the hell else are you going to get the experiences you want to talk about?
I'm really, really big lately internally on the concept of balance. Of trying to split my life into the thirds of like family and relationships versus money versus passion. Mm-hmm. And if I can divide my time and kind of ride those in the thirds that they need to be, I'm usually at my best.
No, it's crazy that you're talking about that, because like that's literally the energy I'm trying to bring in, like, a lot. It's just like, okay, like, these are the things I need to focus on. These are what the priorities. It's like, have you ever seen that stupid dumb video? If you probably haven't, but you'll like the ending of it, because you'll be like, that's not true. That last part's not true. But hold on. But it's like, okay, it's like this idiot professor. I mean, he's a doctor or whatever. He's got a jar. And he's like, look at that shit, bro. That's empty, right? And the students are like, yeah, dude. And then he fills it with like big rocks. And he's like, is that shit full now? And they're like, yeah. And he puts in smaller rocks. Now is it full? Like, I don't know why I'm making him aggressive. He wasn't that aggressive. He's like, now is it full, you fucking pussies? And, and they're just like, yeah, it is. And he's like, oh, man, you fucking retards. And he starts filling it up with sand, packs it down. He's like, now is that shit full? Bitches. And they're just like, yeah. And like, basically what the point was like the big rocks are the big things in your life, like your family, your career, your passions, your relationships, all those big things, your friendships, shit like that. The things that really you're fucking funny enough, this guy was on one, bro. Your rocks, bro. Like, you know, the shit that holds you down. And then the pebbles are like the extra things that go into that. Maybe like the business casual shit of talking to people, you know what I mean? And like, you know, just stuff that's just you got to do it. And then like the sand is just all that little shit that just fills in the rest. That's not even that important, bro. And then like there leaves a little hole at the top, and you're like, wait, there's still room at the top. And he just pulls out a beer and fills it up. He's like, there's always room for beer. Maybe not Ben Daniel. But you know
Used
what I mean?
to be. Still
Used to be. Always room for a topo or a joint. Honestly, sprinkles with some ground up weed on it. There you go. That concept still stays the same. But no, but honestly, that whole idea, like, it's so cheesy, but it's the cheesy shit that reigns true. Because doesn't that sound correct to you?
It does to me, because I can tell when I've neglected a certain area of that, and I'm a little bit empty in certain ways. Mm-hmm. My depression sort of tends to coincide around certain things, and I can almost always tell when I've gone too long without going home and seeing my parents.
I feel that.
Because I get sad in a different way, almost. It's like, I get homesick, man.
Right.
Like, I feel lucky to be 36 and still have both my parents.
Honestly.
And the fact that it's just they live an hour and a half away, and it's 3 hours in a car if I want to go see them on any given day. Mm-hmm. and not to put too fine a point on the road comedy life, but I spend a lot of hours in cars.
Right. Well, that's the thing about just like growing older, man. Because I've realized because I finally had to fucking move out or whatever, and it's like, dude, like being an adult is like fucking that sad realization. It's like you ain't gonna see them for a little bit, and it's all like I had like a 2-hour conversation on the phone with my mom like earlier this week, and I realized like, oh man, it's like, is that what it's like relegated itself to? It's like the occasional seeings and then like just long phone calls. Like, yeah, you know how it is. And I was like, oh, I feel so grown up, but I don't like this.
Yeah, it's not a realization you enjoy, but I said that to say while we're on the podcast, like, call your mothers, people. Like, if you can, call your mom.
Yeah, honestly, bro.
2-hour phone conversation sounds nice. I might book that after this.
100%. No, and honestly, even just having those people I do talk to every day, like on the phone, like, I mean, like Tyler Tibbs, I could talk to him. He's probably like the person who calls me regularly. I call him even. Sometimes I'm like, I ain't talked to his bitch ass in a second. I better call somebody. Like, you know what I mean? And like a solid hour, like while I'm walking the dog or working out or doing something, you know what I mean? Like those people you can just like really just, you got to make sure you keep in touch with.
Yeah.
Like those big people, you know?
I can tell when I've been writing too much because I'll go 2 or 3 days without making any phone calls. And my brain starts thinking these thoughts of like, oh, you're just alone now. I'm like, no, you got friends everywhere, you idiot. You just have to reach out and call them because we're adult. Like, you got to answer messages. You can't just be off in your world writing in a notebook for 23 hours and come out for water and be like, why isn't anyone here to talk to me? Like,
right. No, yeah.
Because it's 4:30 a.m. and people have jobs, you moron.
100%. It's like I'm sitting there stoned out of my mind, like sitting on that stool, making loops on my guitar, and I just take off my headphones. Wait. Sound effects are back. I've like, dude, the last few ones that I've had, like, I've fucked up because like there's this thing right here. It says creator and it says broadcast. And that's the thing though, bro. Yeah, I do be creating stuff, but when I'm on here podcasting, bro, I am a broadcaster. I'm bringing these people the news. You know what I mean? I was being stupid.
I thought you were doing it for sport.
I mean, I don't even know why I like doing podcasts. To be honest with you, man.
I think my audio went out a little bit. Or was that yours?
I think it was mine.
Oh.
Yeah. These are a little looser, but it's fine. All right, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I completely lost my train of thought right there.
Why do you podcast?
I think it's because it's one of the most like adult ways we get to hang out with our friends. And of all the things that we have to promote, they're the most fun. Honestly,
like, don't you want them to be like, you really in your mind when you're like, oh, I'm about to do a podcast, you want them to be fun and you want them to be like, man, you hear me saying that? Hear me saying that deep shit?
Yeah, like I want to make people laugh in all of the formats too. And for all of the promotion we have to do, like, hey, come see this show, come out, come see me. Where it feels like the unspoken part of that is, yes, there are tickets and tickets cost money, but we'll try to make it worth your while.
Right.
The podcast is the one thing we get to give to our friends and the people who pay attention to our shit where there's no obligation except, hey, this is free. Go listen to it. See if it entertains you.
All you got to do is check it out. Yeah, because I was telling you.
Click the button.
Because, like, dude, I got my regular podcast that I love listening to. You know what I mean? Like, on Monday I got 2 of them. Tuesday, there's 1 of them. There's usually, and like, whenever there's not any time for, and then one comes out like Thursday night. Sometimes I'll be trying to watch Tim Dillon's, but I fell off it. Sometimes I'll fall off on podcasts for a while. And that's the one, that was like the Sunday night one that I forgot
It's cyclical for me. Like, I used to listen to The Breakfast Club a lot.
You know what's funny is like my Thursday night one is Brilliant Idiots. So yeah. I honestly fucks with Charlamagne. I get that. Yeah. I get that.
Like, Charlamagne almost always makes me laugh.
I can't help but love the motherfucker. I put
so much value on making me laugh. Like, I'm the worst excuser of people if they're funny. Like,
honestly. Oh no! And the way he talks, he gets all fucked. He just he's like, bro, I've been going through my trauma, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? With his lisp and everything. I appreciate it.
Like, people giving Kyrie Irving all this hate. I'm like, come on, bro. If you watch him talk about the earth, that shit's hilarious. I love
honestly, it is something different. And that's maybe another reason why like we want to do podcasts, because it's like, hey, this isn't me doing jokes. This is really what I think. Hey, see what it feels like. Hey, see what it feels like to just sit down and like, you know, literally, it's like it's 12 in the afternoon, having some coffee, some sweet tea, smoking a bowl, shooting the shit with some boys. Like, you know what I mean? There's sleeping animals everywhere. It's a vibe out here in Montrose. Like, you know what I mean?
I worked very hard to be a 36-year-old man that can do this on a Wednesday afternoon. Like, I'm not punching a clock.
That's facts right there.
Like, I have to work very hard when I work, but I get to make time to be with my friends during the daytime where people are stuck commuting in traffic.
Right.
You know, like it's that's the one thing I'm proud of is that I've managed to build a life that's fun to live.
100%.
Podcasting is fun. Like that's
100%. I'm not even gonna lie, because that's the thing. I talked about it in the last episode you were here, if you listened to the one before this, about like I need to like my thing I've been working on is gratitude, man.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like just like think about the position I'm in. It's like I do have a decent amount of free time to like, you know, focus on like just writing, playing music, working out, hanging out with my dog, you know what I mean? Hanging out with my dogs. And you know, and just like stand up is like a pretty huge part of my life that honestly, whenever I'm not being a stay-at-home mom and like, you know, helping my girlfriend out around the house and stuff, it's just like it's filled up with comedy shit or I'm just trying to sleep. You know what I mean? And I got to be grateful. I got to appreciate her for that, for giving me the opportunity to be able to thrive because she's a creative person. She's a hairstylist. You've been to her work. Yeah. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like when like you just see a creative person crushing it, you're just like, God damn it, I got to step it up too. Okay. Like, and so like I got to be grateful. You know what I mean? It's
sure.
like, you know what I mean? Because bro, man, most fine bitches can be like, they get over your pretty funny shit real quick. You know what I mean?
It definitely is a temporary spell.
Right? And it's like, what do you bring to the table? Jamal, you funny. Yeah, you so funny, bro. Yeah, you making me laugh as I'm kicking your ass. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, yeah, you're right. Like, you've somehow, some way, the decisions you've made and the life choices and, like, the turns that you have made down this life somehow brought you to this point where you get to act the way that you're acting and do the way you are. And it feels like you were in a position where you're still learning a lot.
Yeah.
But for the most part, and getting humbled, but for the most part, it's like, I'm kind of like doing my thing here. Like, you know what I mean? You really feel like you.
I feel like at least I'm the most authentic version of myself right now.
And that's dope, actually. That is a great, all right. No, like, because like that's the goal I'm trying to reach. You know what I mean? Random number.
Yeah, it's never like completely there. Like I'm not doing all of the things I want to do and I haven't done all the things I want to do and et cetera. Like I feel like at my happiest, I'm in a relationship and I'm single right now. I haven't put near enough attention into that area of my life. Yeah,
but like, I understand because like, bro, there was a huge time where like I would get really sad about like, yeah, like, fuck, I'm alone, man, because like it was either I was kind of like hoeing up, but even then I didn't even have the energy to even try to like hoe it up and do whatever that fuck, you know what I mean?
Like,
but it's like
if the fish jump into the boat, fine, but
exactly. I'm gonna eat.
Yeah, I'm not going
motherfucker, I'm hungry. Now, you're absolutely correct on that.
We're not going spearfishing or any shit.
Exactly. I ain't throwing my shit out there, but my line's out there if you want to hook it. That is so fucking funny. That is so funny. No, but because also it's like during that point, you got to just realize you got to be comfortable with just focusing on yourself and realizing like you are enough, and you got to just bust your ass, like making yourself happy with yourself before you try to make yourself happy with anybody else, because what's the point, right?
It definitely is, and
that's just a part of your life that you do, because like, bro, like I said, like from what I see on your Facebook, bro, I mean, like I said, we all post like the best shit of our lives on there. You know what I mean?
Some of us post the worst shit too.
You do, but you're pretty out there with that, honestly. I think I try to be. You could tell, like, if I haven't posted in a while, it's either I'm bored, uncreative, or sad.
The only thing I'm dishonest about on Facebook is how shows went.
100%.
And I'm not even openly dishonest. There's just certain things I won't say after I bombed. If you pay attention to my promo shows, I'll say something like, "Never gonna forget this night," and I won't say why.
Oh, but this one was a good one. But why?
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
This was a memorable evening.
Fucking annoying ass Koo, bro. I swear to God, Koo is so funny sometimes. I hate it because like he comments. So they're like, no, because he saw me post pictures of the show, and he's like, so was there like no one there? I'm like, there was like 10 people. It's like, you could tell by the way you took these pictures. I'm like, man, bro, in the comments,
bro,
he didn't have to call me out like that, Koo. That was some flames. You got me.
I'm not going to say what comic, but one comic gave me a very intensive lesson early on the photo angles you can take to make it look like people came.
Oh, yeah.
That's been invaluable for me throughout.
Sex too.
Yeah, that was well played.
I'm trying to work on the puns a little bit more.
It's nice to see you stepping into that arena.
Oh, yeah, dude.
There's not enough of us.
That'll be the next thing for the next part. What are we trying to do next while we're thinking about the things we're doing now? And so now we're talking about, okay, like what? So like we're talking about like what we're trying to do now, what's making us busy now, you know, with I'm just trying to be busy with podcasting and doing more shows and stuff. But like, what is it with stand up and, you know, just what you're out here doing in general? What are you trying to do a little differently? What's the next step?
For me, the metaphor is a toolbox. And right now, the big push is to try to diversify the tools I have there within.
I feel that.
I want to become a longer form comic to be able to have that ability and fill more time, be more of a storytelling comic, get less away from the puns. At the same time, you know, I also want to be more on point with my podcast. Mm-hmm. You know, that's also a background goal as well. But it's just how many different ways can I be more funny in? How many more? I need to write clean. You know, that's on the forefront of my mind when I'm writing right now as well.
That's interesting because it hits you when it hits you, right? Like what you want to do different.
It's not necessarily want. It's just the goal is to want to be able to take anything.
I get that.
I want to be able to take any room, any gig, blind, and not worry about it.
I get that 100%. Yeah, because I'm all over the place with it, but like for a minute it was like, okay, try to talk to the crowd more. Stop reciting your bits, actually talk to these bitches. Like, you know what I mean?
Crowd work is on my list as something I've never really done.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't think anybody in comedy interacts with the audience less than me.
Right. I feel that. Yeah. You're really been like, I got some shit to say. You're gonna listen.
Yeah.
Bitches.
People keep asking me like, what happens when you get heckled? I'm like, I don't stop talking long enough to get heckled.
I feel that. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna get through this shit. You're gonna listen to it.
You're going to take these jokes forcefully, and then I'm gonna leave. It's gonna go how it's gonna go. Like,
all right. Everyone's gonna like it.
But I would like to be able to, when it's going bad, switch gears and get into something that might work when I recognize that, because I can recognize when a crowd isn't appreciating me or the thing that I'm doing. I just can't really do anything about it right now. Right.
And that's basically like what I mean by like trying to talk to them more. Just try to be more loose about it, because like, and also like I said, like minimize that person I am in casual conversation and on stage, because like that person can just be chill and just have something to say and reply right away. Like, you know what I mean? I don't have to think about stuff. Like that's why I'm just like trying to be more comfortable. Like I asked the crowd something like, so what about this? And trusting that whatever I have to say right after that's going to be funny, and it has been going off a lot better. You know what I mean? So
do you feel like you have a stage presence or a stage personality?
A lot of people, I think so, because like, what is it? My theater brain, because like I just flash back to when I was like in high school and stuff. As soon as like you hear your cue, bro, and you're about to cross that curtain or cross that way into that bright light, that your brain just switch and you're just like, I'm doing this right now. You know what I mean? So it's like definitely I'm in a different state of mind and different way of thinking, but I think I think the persona is dying and dying and dying away, because like the longer you do it, if you're not doing it right, unless you're trying to be a completely different person, because that wasn't my goal, is to have a persona.
I think the personas only work when they're really you.
100%, yeah. And then lately, like people, like one of the best compliments I got was someone like a comic I really respect was just like, dude, you just look like you're having so much fun on stage. And I was just like, thank you, like, you know what I mean? And I remember one time Marlo was just like, man, it just every time like you guys are hosting the mic, just looks like y'all are just having the times of y'all live. I'm like, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to make it be. You know what I mean? Just like, no matter what, people are just like, I let myself laugh a little bit more. People like, I want to let people know like I'm having fun, even though I'm saying crazy shit. I'm like, yeah. So this guy slapped his baby, and it wasn't his baby. It was crazy. This is a real bit I have, which is a true story.
I remember listening to
Yeah, and so you know what I mean. Like, so and then like just being like, you know, just being the regular person I am, because like, and being able to understand is like, hey, bro, people can like you for who you are. You just go for it, just like everyone else in your life does. Exactly, just like everyone else does. And so just be more comfortable with myself. And then just being able to be more comfortable with talking to people, and like being able to just be sillier and being okay with being silly and saying puns and shit.
I would also add, you need, like, not that you said critique me and what I do or anything, but like when you get closest to conversational Jamal is when you're at your best, and that's normally like middle of the set. Yeah. From watching you. Like early you was kind of like show host energy almost. It's almost ceremonially formal and upbeat.
That's a really good observation. That's exactly how it feels.
And then you kind of like level down into a mellow place. But you, of all people, like Tommy Drake says this about everybody, but you of all people and me of all people, Pot Calling Kel Black, needs to learn to work in silence more.
Swear to God, bro. And that's what I learned telling that story on Monday. And then also I realized, because like even though I don't have stories, some things are just longer. You know what I mean? And that sometimes I realize that some, like when you really look at the crowd and the light's not too blind, they are really just sitting there listening. They don't have to give you a lot of things just to show that they're like, what's next, bro? I want to hear what's next. You know what I mean? And being okay in that silence, because like, bro, especially like just training myself to be more comfortable in silence, and just like you're in. It's like it's a such a powerful moment because you're in there, you're in it, you recognize it, and you're just like you're feeling it, you're breathing, and you're just like, and then this, and then it fucking breaks, and you're just like, I knew I wasn't tripping. I knew if you didn't, just, you know what I mean? As long as you just stay strong and don't be like, oh, like break out of it. No, just keep going. If the punchline if that's the part that doesn't work, then it's fuck up. But you know what I mean? Don't say anything until your punchline doesn't work damn near. You know what I mean? So being okay in the silence, because it's just like, right, does that make sense?
And then also, I'll tell you something else I figured out. And
yeah.
I actually taught myself this by accident, and I'll give you a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're doing better than you think you're doing. And what I mean by that is there are some people who don't laugh out loud.
Honestly,
perfect example when you dictated your Wi-Fi password to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was dying for 30 seconds, but I didn't make any noise because I don't really laugh out loud. Because
I feel that.
I'm worried about like distracting comics, so I taught myself to not. I try to be unobtrusive in a room, so I don't laugh out loud anymore. If I can, it's hard. I have to be caught really off guard.
I feel you. You know, it's weird because like I'm at a point where I'm like, nah, bro. If it's funny, bro, I'm gonna laugh. You know, because I got to. I can't just be sad no more, bro. If I can control it, you know what I mean? Because of course you can't control certain things that happen to you in life and blah blah blah. But it's like you do have a certain sense of power over the shit about how you react to shit. Because I heard that thing where it's like life is like 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. You know what I mean? I'm like, what if I got shot? And he's like, yeah, if you cry about that, you little bitch. I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, here's where I'm at with it, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't think you have a lot of control over how you react to things. I've never thought that. But what I do think you have control of is how quickly you recover from the emotions of things. I think things hit you how they hit you. Can you brush it off? Can you shake it off and get back to your normal state of faster? You know, and the faster and faster I learn how to do that, the happier I generally am.
Right. No, because you're right. Is like with my phrasing was like how you react is exactly recover is a better word because that's exactly what I mean, and that's what I mean. Your reaction. So yeah, well actually yeah, because it's like how are you gonna react to it? Are you gonna recover from it? Are you gonna choose to recover from it? Or are you gonna let it just tear you apart?
I thought you meant the moment like I'm not gonna let this thing hurt me at all, and I'm like no. But in the moment, like things do what they do.
Yeah, in the things will happen as they happen. It's about how you handle the aftermath. You know what I mean?
100% on board with you there. Like I think I'm learning to shorten the latency on my depression a little.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's just being more honest with your feelings, honestly.
Just like, yeah, this sucks. I'm sad about this thing. I know why I'm sad about this thing. But it doesn't mean all of the things my head's telling me.
Right. And it's honestly just like, it's like a daily mantra damn near. It's like, okay, just go through it. It's like, feel your feelings, but no, it's like there's other things that are being good and there's other things. You know, it's like, it literally is just like a daily affirmation. Oh my God, these hippie bitches are onto something.
I'll go you one further.
You want me to read your horoscope, bro?
I'm a Leo.
I'm an Aquarius, bro. We're not even supposed to like each other. What? That's funny.
I think I don't know if that's true. Like somebody asked me, like, what are those beads on your arms mean? Like, what do they represent? And like, they represent the fact that I like to fuck chicks who do yoga.
Hell yeah, dude.
There's no deeper meaning between that, and they kind of help to play with when I have anxiety. But other than that, you know, it's just.
No, I get that 100%. That makes sense.
But I definitely feel like how you navigate all of these things as a person is just kind of like it defines how happy you decide to be.
Yeah. And it's being honest and just saying like you have and giving yourself more control than you realize.
Definitely that.
Genji, go play with the kitty. You were just having fun. I just ran outside with you, bro. Like we was just out there wilding out. Go play with your kitty.
Even though I still struggle with it, it's still, I'm owning that it's more my fault when I'm unhappy, but part of it's chemical. I don't know.
No, man, I get exactly what you're talking about because sometimes like I really I was just like, okay, maybe this is how I am, and you know I need to work around how I am, and like there's a difference between like you're just trying to understand what are some things that are just you and you kind of can't control, and it's not really you controlling it. It's about how to maneuver it when you're in those positions, and then also things that like, oh wait, I can just stop. I got to just work on this. Like, you know what I mean? And
it's also like anytime you're there, you're like, be honest with yourself. What are you not doing?
Mm-hmm. Why is this triggering?
Are you good on exercise? Are you good on rest? Are you good on food right now? How are you financially? Like, are all of these things that are taking like contributors?
You know what I mean? Was that yours? Yeah. It's all good.
That was me. Yeah.
It's all good. But yeah, no, are all these things like, swear to God, because like, dude, like, I actually have to like stop apologizing for naps sometimes. Because then when I come, I'm like, just give me like 30 minutes, an hour. And I'll come back even stronger than before, bro. I probably it's honestly just
that sounds like your apology for the after sex nap.
100%. Ain't no apology, bro. I'll put in my work. Hey, no, ain't nothing to apologize after sex. Hey, no, I'm sorry. I can't even go again because I just went too hard, bro.
That was the most well-deserved sound effect in the history of sound effects.
Thank you, man. Yeah, dude, I love having sex.
I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't except for victims of certain crimes.
I love that thing because it makes dark shit hit so hard because I remember one time I have this clip. It's so stupid. It's just like a bunch of random clips of me just chopped up saying crazy shit. And I'm like, oh, I'm fucking crazy. I don't know. Why do people, I was like, it's either I don't stand up for myself or I'm just too much for people. I mean, what is it? What is it? Should I just kill myself? And it's just fucking, I didn't even laugh afterwards, but on the inside I was like crying. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's just one of those things. I was so happy when I posted that thing yesterday.
Yeah.
About somebody booking me in April. Mm-hmm. I was like, dude, this guy thinks I'm going to be alive in 6 months.
Isn't that a nice feeling? Oh my God, to have things.
Like, he's so optimistic.
Right. Bro, but honestly, isn't that kind of nice though? It's like, man, I got shit to do later.
Like, it would have been nicer if he sent a deposit. Because there's not a lot of weight behind his wish, but still, like, just to hold the date.
Damn, then he's literally banking on you.
Yeah, when somebody bets on me to be alive in 6 months, that's
You're
when
a gambling
we hang the
man.
banner. Like,
you're a gambling man.
Still, looking forward to stuff helps.
Oh yeah, 100%. Battery fully charged.
Are you fully charged, Jamal?
Damn near, man. Actually, give me a second. Start freestyling or something.
Man, I already get enough bad Eminem jokes as it is. Like, if I just randomly just started freestyle, let me not go down this dark path.
You was just about. That's so funny. Oh man, we got all the heavy stuff, all the comedy talk out of the way, man. Because also we can't even remember what we were just talking about a second ago. But it's fine. Keep it fresh.
I have the worst attention span. It's so bad.
I've had to legit like train myself. Like I said earlier, like when we just started, and I went on a huge tangent. And I said, I was like, yeah, I almost forgot what we were talking about. Like, if like you were to watch like that play-by-play and you just see me in the tangent, you could be like, did he just forget what he was talking about? You can see it in my eyes, and then I just remember, and then you can see me remember because I bring it up, and then I'm like, whew, and then the relief, like, you know what I mean?
I love that feeling of when you can pull it back when it's almost gone.
Oh my God, it gives you such a good fucking feeling of hope for your brain, and it's like you're doing just fine, buddy. But hey. Get it together a little bit. The fuck?
I've learned to have to work in like 15-minute spurts of attention because that's about all the focus I'll hold.
Right. I feel what you mean.
Nothing like a bill collector's calling you.
Oh yeah, I get that. You know what really helps me with like meandering from one task from the next that I have to do is timers, like putting on a timer for myself. It's like, okay, if I have to leave within the next whatever minutes, put like maybe 5 or so minutes less than that, and so that'll just set me off to like go and do what I need to do, And then like, it really lets you know if you're really bullshitting with your time or not, especially if like you give yourself like an extra 5 minutes that you kind of make yourself forget about. You know what I mean?
I usually try to force myself to do all of the unpleasant things I have to do in a day over the time cycle of a cycle of laundry. So it's like from the time I put things into the washer to the time I get them out of the dryer, and I'm not going to lie and say I put them away the same day. That's more than I have. But
yeah,
I have to do productive things during that time gap.
100%.
Once that time gap's over, I let myself be off for a while, because that's the thing I hate doing the most is laundry.
Oh no, yeah, like dude, like I wash and dry it all fucking day, but like it takes a minute for me and my girlfriend to take it out of like the right now. At least the good problem is that it's just nothing but clean clothes hampers just there, but we're just living out of the hampers right now.
Yeah, I'm living out of the clean clothes hamper, but things go into the dirty. But I cycle through the laundry enough to where I'm not like wearing dirty things.
100%, yeah.
All the clothes laying around are clean.
But yeah, no, setting up the fucking washer and then filling up the dishwasher.
Yep.
And then going off to do other things. It is the most powerful fucking thing you can. It's like
I see you flexing that you own real dishes.
Hell yeah, dude. You know what I mean? I'm talking about. No, but honestly, I mean that shit does. Yeah, because it's like, bam, it's like a timer right there. And then like once you're done with that unnecessary bullshit or that shit you hate, you just hear that fucking ding go off, and you're like, damn, time to go to the next fucking bullshit. Set up for the next thing, and then just fucking go.
And most of the time, these things are so mindless, I end up thinking about jokes and structure the whole time I'm doing them anyway.
Honestly. And that's the other thing. That's the time.
It's not like you can fuck up hanging up shirts, really.
Really, yeah. No, and it's like, so that thing, it's like, it goes into that other thing we were talking about. It's like doing real life shit, like taking care of yourself and your home life while you're doing that. Your brain can fucking just sit there because that's the shit you're worried about. You know what I mean? Is your stability. And if you're actively taking care of that, even if you're not doing it perfectly, if you're actively doing it, your brain can feel okay to be like, how about these dick jokes? And I think that's a powerful thing to acknowledge. You know what I mean?
Dude, it all boils down to how about these dick jokes, man?
How about these dick jokes, bro? Sometimes whenever I'm just like doing the podcast by myself, like I'm just like, oh, and I'm like just like starting to warm up. I'm like, all right, let's bust out these new jokes, and I'll just say them out loud, and they sound retarded. I don't even say most of them, to be honest. Like, and if I were, it'd be like months later.
80% of the stuff in this phone will never see the light of day on a stage.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I never
put
delete
everything in the phone that makes me giggle when I write it.
100%.
And I'm such an easy laugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. I feel that.
I'm the easiest laugh, dude. And that's why I feel like if I don't think somebody's funny, they're really not funny.
I feel that.
Because I'm an easy laugh when I'm not smoking weed.
I feel you. I know, and like I said, I'm out there trying to laugh as hard as I can.
I love comedy. I want you to make me laugh.
Honestly. Because, like, honestly, like, dude, when I was younger, like, in high school is when I really started watching stand-up, like, a lot. Like, I think my first special that I saw that really stood out to me when I was, like, in 6th grade, and it was George Carlin's, like, last special. The one he did, he was, like, 82 or whatever, like, right before he died. And I remember being in 6th grade being like, wow, I really understand these jokes. I feel so smart. It was, like, that suicide joke. He's like, who the hell's got time to be committing suicide? Man, I got shit to do. I got to go get a rope. Like, you know what I mean? All that shit. And I'm sitting there in 6th grade being like, I get it, dude. That's resonating with me. Red flags, but whatever.
Sure.
No, and then as like time went on from that point on, just slowly but surely, just especially when Netflix started existing and streaming services, and then I started really watching Comedy Central a lot when I got home, I could really see a lot of stand up, and I just like never once did I ever think I wanted to do it, but I was just infatuated with it, and I thought it was pretty cool. Like I love that shit so much. Like actually having like favorite comics. Like, dude, yeah. I remember in high school when I was scrolling through. I could have been in high school or like maybe I just graduated, but I remember just around that time just scrolling through Netflix and then just being like, what to watch? And you see this random special and I'm like, I've never seen this guy before. This guy looks kind of funny. I guess he could be funny. And I just click it. And that's how I found Tom Segura. Like, you know what I mean? Like just, I got to discover them all on my own like that. You know what I mean? Like, and I just love shit like that. And just like watching random comics.
I found Jesselnick on my own.
Same. I saw that 30-minute.
Thoughts and Prayers.
That is so tight. That is so fucking tight, dude.
That was the first I'd ever heard the name.
Mine, I think I was like in high school and it was like his like Caligula one or something.
Oh, Caligula was
some
great.
Jokes from that he did like, and I saw it on Comedy Central. Like, yeah, no. Oh, and so like seeing shit on TV, like, you know what I mean? I was like, man, look at this shit. Oh, it's so cool.
That's the best, dude.
You know, and then out of nowhere, like I met Tyler, and he was just like, "Bro, you ever want to try podcasting?" I was like, "Kind of," and he's like, "Dude, I do stand up. I've tried stand up, back where I used to live." And I was like, "Wait, you can just go and try it? You can just go do stand up?"
It's so dumb how little barrier entry.
Honestly, it's kind of infuriating. I've been a very huge advocate of like, okay, should we just acknowledge how crazy some people can be when they initially start? I think it would help. Because like these chords are long as fuck, so it's like you just take like some of the weight so it doesn't like pull out.
It's pulling on the bass. I get you, dude.
Right.
Like near as I can tell, you don't have to have money, discernible talent. You don't have to be funny. You don't have to have like 4 years experience.
You don't have to be confident. You don't need 4 years experience.
Don't have to be confident. Don't have to be.
You don't have to have a job.
No, you don't have to have limbs.
Yeah, for the most part. If you could just sit there and just do
this. You don't
this,
even have to speak the same language of the country you're going in.
Swear to God, if you can be up there for 5 minutes, bro, you can do it. Now, does that mean are you going to be amazing? Are you going to be funny? It's like, no, but the ability to at least try is right there. And man, when I went first few times, obviously, God fucking awful, but I was like, I want to keep doing this shit. Oh my God. So goofy.
That first
how
laugh,
corny
bro.
it is. Ooh wee. Still waiting for it, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Honestly, but it's cheesy, bro, because it's like, I mean, like for me, I just hit 4 years. You're about to hit 3 years, and like people listening, it's like, that shit ain't that long. It's like it starts somewhere, you fucking hater, fucking bitch ass. You're listening to my podcast, bro, and you talking shit on my crap. Go listen to your own goddamn podcast. Talk shit about yourself,
bro.
Homo. I'm kidding, no homo.
Anybody who would say anything like that wouldn't survive the emotional damage that 3 years in comedy would do to them.
Honestly, I don't know. Also, that's another thing, bro. I'm trying to teach myself because I just want to just let go all the negative energy and just not like be angry when I don't have to be and not be sad when I don't have to be. Just like let things come as they come. But if I can work on some shit, you know what I mean? Then I will choose to work on it because I've just fought for this peace. I mean, look how pretty it looks out those windows, bro. Like it's been a year and some change since I've been off probation, and I haven't had a single issue with it. Knock on wood, it stays that way. And I'm just like, man, what the fuck? That's something to be grateful for, and that's something I don't want to ruin my peace. I don't want to see this shit. I don't want to fuck this shit up.
Look, as nice as that sounds, and as ideal as that sounds,
I know.
Let me reel you in a little bit
on your shit.
I can be like, oh, I'm grateful. I'm not doing heroin anymore. I'm not dead. I'm appreciative of life. The bottom line is, if you go out on a stage in front of people and bomb, it's going to do emotional damage and hurt.
Oh yeah, and that's not even what I'm talking about.
I'm saying it's going to affect your energy and take you to that.
Oh
place.
no, and those are the things. No, and those are the things I'm talking about. The things you can't control.
Yeah, you can't eliminate them either.
Oh yeah, no. Like this, the serenity prayer, bro. It's like accept the things I cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference between them, blah blah blah. And that's what I'm talking about. Is I'm really trying to just go ham on the things, and I'm like, okay, this is what I can't control. Take it as it comes, you know what I mean? And then the things I can't, if I can have a conversation, and if I'm the one being a bitch about having a conversation with somebody, if they're making me annoyed or having a problem with somebody, certain things, you can, you know what I mean? But of course, the big life things, if I just crash my fucking car, I can't talk my way out of that shit. I just did that, you know what I mean? But it's the social interactions things, the little things, and having no goddamn emotional baggage, and just no emotional hangover, and just letting it go. I don't know. Just trying to just be as active on it as possible.
I mean, it's getting rid of the baggage is a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to accumulate less of it is a great thing.
Oh yeah, because that just makes more rooms for the real things in life. Honestly,
it does. I try to keep that to a minimum, but unfortunately, there's just so many extremes of personalities in this industry. You're gonna find some that you just can't fuck with.
I know, man. Honestly. And then again, it's like in those moments, it's I'm gonna try my best to just minimize the interaction with the things.
That's the only way you can do is just avoid the places where you know that things will be.
I know. It's an understanding that's if there's nothing positive you can get out of a situation, it's you don't have to put yourself through a situation.
Yeah. Nobody's keeping tabs on how many times you do the Thursday night mic at the secret group if there's one person who shows up there who's going to be a dick to you,
Honestly, it's no one's going to no one's going to just be you're not a real comic for doing every hellish, nightmarish, awful thing to yourself that you can do just for the sake of the art. It's that's not what it is, really.
No, I do think there's a barrier between real comics and not real comics, but I don't think I'm qualified to define what it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those pornography. I know it when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
There's people I file like, oh, you're a comic, and there's people who I feel like they could, with effort, become one day.
Oh, yeah.
But getting stage time doesn't make you a comic to me, and I can't explain why not.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel what you mean. It's like...
I've just seen too many people just be awful.
Yeah, by the literal definition, like, yeah, you're a comic, but like, are you really like a goddamn comedian, bro? You up there like, yeah, I feel what you mean.
Comic versus comedian would be a great.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm a local comic, yeah, but like, is you a comedian though, bro? You be making these motherfuckers laugh? And of course, like, I mean, just honestly, because like sometimes, like, yeah, like you just see someone doing their thing, and you're just like, I ain't into that, but that doesn't mean they're not a comedian. You know what I mean? They can be a different type of comedian for you, but then sometimes you see some shit, and I'm just like, man, fuck this person.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just there are people who you see never get laughs.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people who I've watched for 5 minutes on multiple occasions never get a laugh cumulatively, and just keep on trucking right through.
Oh yeah,
and it's like there's got to be some barrier between that and what we do.
Yeah, it's the laughs. Like it's the
sound barrier.
It's the sound barrier. Yeah, it's like sometimes like no, yeah, it's like even just recording on this podcast. It's like if I say something out loud and if I don't even feel good enough to like hit a sound effect, I'm like, I'll let myself sit in that. Like, swear to God, like, you know what I mean? I don't have to dig myself out of that. I'm like, just sit in the bomb for a second.
We've learned how to self-punish. Like that's why we don't need audiences to heckle us for shit, because we know when the joke misses.
Oh my God,
we're not
dude.
unaware.
The last like hecklers I had have been ridiculous. Like I did like a late night, I think it was Saturday show. And oh my God, I was just trying to tell a story, and it was just something about like I just mentioned my girlfriend, and the people were just like, okay. And there was this one chick, like she was just yelling, "Show her!" I'm like, what are you talking about? We want to see her. We want to see your girlfriend. I'm like, bitch, you're the only one fucking talking, like, you know. And it was more getting just like chuckles and laughs off the shit I had to like say at her, and I didn't get to say any jokes. You know what I mean? But that Hans Kim guy was there, and he was like, hey, at least they're laughing at shit you said. And I'm like, you're right.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
I like Hans.
That dude's funny as fuck. He's cool
Dude,
as fuck.
He's so great. Like I went up to him, like he went up before me because me and Jesse were doing a show in Georgetown together, booked together, and he did like a 7 or 10 minute guest spot. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, you're really funny.
Hell yeah.
And he stayed and he watched my set, and he actually like tracked me down in the parking lot. He's like, no, dude, you're actually funny too. And
that's really sweet.
I was like, that was kind of you. Like I don't know if I just reeked of anxiety, but
there's like when you just like, you know, when you talk to certain people, you're just like, this is a normal person. This is a regular person. I can talk to this person.
Decent regular guy.
Man, the thing,
dude.
Yeah, what?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Go for it.
No,
bro. I'm interviewing you now.
I was going to tell you about something I had forgot about earlier. Dude, I did the show in Waco.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a heckler.
Yeah.
But I felt the most assaulted as a comic I'd ever been.
That's a good way to phrase it. Hell yeah.
Because here's what happened. I had to do 2 shows on a Saturday night. And there was like 12 people in the first show. And one of the tables in the like front right did not feel me at all. Mm-hmm. And I bombed for all of the 20 minutes.
Why is it always the people right in the front?
It's like if this dead center was a table, they were one table to the right, so they were my peripheral not laughing the whole time, which was almost like worse.
Oh yeah,
like I was bombing, but I was catching like 1 or 2 people here and there.
Right,
you know, it's just mostly like Waco is not my demographic, and I knew this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the intermission between the shows, and that table feels compelled to come track me down while I'm outside puking and smoking and tell me exactly how much I suck at comedy and exactly which one of my jokes
found you.
I should never do again. And I'm just sitting there taking it, just nodding it off. And then I'll be damned if they didn't spend $55 and buy tickets to the second show after I told them they were going to be the same jokes and now be sitting front row center, not laughing at my set, making angry eye contact, drinking alcohol out of a plastic bag.
People are fucking weird.
Why?
Bro, people who watch comedy like that, you know what I mean? Like people who go to shows are some of the weirdest fucking people in the goddamn world.
Just
I'm going to talk mad shit to you. I'm going to buy tickets to the next one.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to sit here.
And sit. What is with these people? You know, it's because like one time at Avant, there was these like just literally front row of like it was all one group of girls and like they were just grown women. I won't even fine young ladies. No, these grown ass bitches just hammered, bro. It's 9. It's like 9, but it's Thursday, bro. You are Saturday hammered on a Thursday night, honestly. And like they just would not stop talking. But like I would try to incorporate them into the shit, and it was kind of all whatever, just incorporating them into it, talking to them. And at one point, I said one thing where it was just like, it's like, yeah, we all remember this commercial, right? We're all like in our we're all in our mid-20s. I'm like, probably not you guys, right? And then they didn't care. They thought that shit was funny. It was the young sister, the one who was like actually like my age, being like, what? Like she was like, what? And like she was just trying to do it. And I was like, finally, I was like, what? What are you saying? I'm just saying, dude, like, if you think like she's like anything like, over 20 something, then you're fucking dumb or whatever. That's my sister. You're just not going to talk about her like that. And I was like, hey. She was like really tense. It was really quiet. And I was like, I'm sorry. And I got a laugh out of everyone. And I was like, hey, everybody look at her. And she's like, no. And I was like, you want all the fucking attention. Everybody look at her. And it was like, after that, no. And it was like, finally. And then they were like, you know what's funny? I was like, all of them at some point were like, we got kicked out of the improv like a few weeks ago for talking during a show. And I'm like, and you out here doing the same shit. And at one point they just got up and left because like I like talked enough shit to them. But I was just like, bro, they were like, yeah, we just did this shit. And we're gonna do it again.
We just enjoy being kicked out of establishments. It's kind of our thing.
We just saw you do this shit we didn't like. I'm gonna do it again. Bet I'll do that shit again. Bet you $55 a ticket I'm gonna do that shit again. And then these bitches.
Okay, but like some of the comics can't stop doing shit again to get kicked out of certain clubs in Houston. So I mean, really. We can't even train ourselves. We can't bitch about the audiences too much.
These people are just wild. And like, I don't understand why people go to comedy shows sometimes. It's like, I guess just people who, it's like the people when you go anywhere, you go out to a bar and there's
people don't want to drink alone, man.
Yeah, you're right. Well, then why are they always in groups?
Bro, it's just people like.
Go meet up a group at y'all's house. What's the
comics are just a group of people are going to be at a bar drinking.
True. And that's why I like drinking at home now, honestly.
I just don't know. There's so many theories about why this profession attracts the worst of us. It's like you're either the best of people or the worst of people. There's no average people doing stand-up comedy.
Oh, yeah. You would think there'd be average people watching stand-up comedy, but there's not.
No, there's just weird people.
There's weirdos. But I guess it's just something. It really, the same thing. Like sometimes I have to really go back and separate myself from like what I have around me, like comedy included, and like think about the person I was, like that teenager watching these specials and about why I like these specials. And I was just like, they're saying some shit. You know who, bro? Bill Burr was the one. Anytime he said something, he's like, you ever feel like that? I'm like, yes, like because that fucking feeling of someone you just saying some crazy funny shit, and you're just like, yes, I feel you, bro. Yeah, it's like that joke he had is like, you ever have like, you know how many times people just ask me, why are you yelling? I'm like, bro, I feel you, dog. Like, I'm not yelling. I'm passionate.
I'm just excited.
Yeah,
about the topic at hand.
I got a couple octaves in my voice. I'm like, yes, bro. Oh my
Dude,
God.
People are insane. Dude.
That relatability is so powerful.
You've heard me do my sobriety shit before on stage.
Absolutely.
I've done that probably 200 times. Except in Arlington or Addison, I can't remember which improv I was at on New Year's Eve.
Arlington, Addison, AA.
Well, yeah, it's same drive, same day. Like, it's whatever. It's New Year's Eve, and I do the sobriety front part of the joke, and this like elderly-ish woman jumps out of her seat, hops on stage, and starts hugging me. Which, of all the things that have happened before to me in comedy, that was not one of them.
All right, yeah, that's a new one.
And I'm just standing there with this old person, like, hanging off of me. And I'm like, ma'am, in these troubling times of COVID.
You were breaking so many social and...
I was like, it's a kamikaze
ethical barriers. Oh, she coming in.
Yeah, just like I didn't know that was a hug moment, but apparently some people just feel like they come on stage and hug you and they feel like
No, yeah, no. Honestly,
that's terrifying.
I mean, sobriety for people is just something that hits really hard. Like honestly, like your episode and Rachel's episode are the ones that got like the biggest views the fastest because I guess like they're like, oh, okay, like because it always ends up being about that shit at some point. And I talk about it a lot, like even just by myself because like I have to like acknowledge that there was a year of my life where I was doing shit to actively like figure it out, and then like I made like, you know, the decision, you know, to be like, okay, well, I don't want to keep going to AA. I just need to keep going to therapy. And, you know, in many ways, and like just being honest and talking to people and just like being honest about my emotions. And that's the best thing I can be. And be honest if the shit starts getting in the way. You know what I mean?
People's definitions of sobriety is complicated to me. Because
honestly,
I've heard people make the argument that if you're really sober, that should include not smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, fuck all that.
Exactly. Everybody draws their line in different places. And for
I know
mine,
some people think marijuana is like the fuck. Oh my god, how
how
could
dare
you?
I?
Yeah,
Because I'm California sober, and it's medical marijuana for my anxiety disorder. Like I have a diagnosis and a doctor in a house in Colorado. Like fuck off, it's legal.
And I mean the dude that you are. I mean, just drinking sweet teas and smoking good weed. I mean, I like that guy.
Yeah, people didn't like the heroin version. I feel tested this.
I get that.
People prefer the marijuana version. It's like 10-1.
All right.
But my definition of what I do or don't is purely intent based. My sobriety is a period of I stopped doing things to harm myself.
Yeah.
I don't act in self-harm anymore. That's basically what I'm celebrating. Is
celebrating the act of self-care,
the end
bro.
of self-destruction and more self-care.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hate these phrases and buzzwords.
I know, but it is what it is. No, some people take care of yourself. No, some people it's just so triggering because sometimes like you just, how dare somebody ever try to like take care of themselves in their own way, and they just being like, you're fucking douchebags, they're doing it wrong. It's like there ain't no doing it wrong as long as I'm happy. Like we live our lives for ourselves, not really for the most part of like these randos who get mad at the very idea of how we do it.
I don't think there's any one size fits all sobriety. I think everybody has to figure out what works for them.
Perfectly said.
And I don't even think sobriety should be the aim for sobriety's sake so much as happiness and life. Like, well, some of the happiest people I know drink.
Tell me about it. Honestly, yeah, the people who give me all the life lessons I have are just hammered drunk when they're explaining them to me for the most part.
And I'm not by any means like planning to relapse or anything, but I say this just to say, if I hung up this podcast with you right now and went to a bar and got trashed, it wouldn't change a thing about the people I've helped over the past 2 years. You know?
Honestly.
Wouldn't change a thing about this portion of my life or my story.
Yeah. Right. Honestly, and that's what like Rob Lowe said that on an episode of Joe Rogan. He's like, I try not to talk about this shit too much because as soon as you like, and it's fucked up because it's that thing I'm talking about. As soon as you start talking about it the way that you do it, the people who do it the right way are just looking at you, betting on you, waiting for you to fuck up.
Oh, and they're antagonistic about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like people want to attack my sobriety. Like you should reset your sober date because you do this, and you should get the fuck out of my life. Like I didn't agree to play by your rules.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like you're literally trading one addiction for another because it's like you could either be just overly religious or you could be overly into any program. It's like some people like try to do comedy too much. Some people try to work too much. You know what I mean?
There are some people who are so addicted to recovery that they can't start a sentence without, well, the book teaches us that.
100%, bro. Same thing with Bible people. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, honestly.
The Bible teaches us that.
Or the people who are just like, man, bro, like, see this thing about, like, I was thinking about this bit and it was making me think about this conversation. You know what I mean?
And I wonder what happened to independent thought. I wonder what happened to the point to where we stopped allowing people to have opinions outside of the dictates of these lines that other people have drawn.
I mean, it's just all about control. You know, it's just like people are just like, well, it's like, well, you were self-destructive before, like you'll never be able to be good again. It's like, well, bro, like it's almost not allowing people to be human, man.
Or change.
Yeah, you gotta just box them in, do that. Yeah, just box them in, not allow them to just change their shit and do something different. Because really, like honestly, some people try their best to make it a one-size-fits-all fucking thing, whether with how you live your life, like. Everyone's got to have 9 to 5 and do this, do the normal thing. Everyone's got to do everything the exact same way. It's like, bro, no. He's wearing a hoodie and it's 80 degrees outside and I'm wearing basketball shorts. Shit does not have to be the same.
No. Everybody can find their own lane to be in. If I had $1 for every preachy comic who's told me to stop telling jokes the way I tell jokes, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you'll never get work being dark. You shouldn't joke about tragedies. Things about X are never funny. Like, what? How dare you talk about this? Like, dude, it's my time.
No, and honestly, it's like people look at you. It's like, man, bro, see, that's not how I would do it to do the thing. And that's the thing. It's like, that's the thing. I am not you.
No.
Thanks for the advice, but fuck off, dude. Like,
And
honestly,
I don't wanna be
there's a
y'all.
there's a difference between just advice and then just someone just telling you how you should do it.
Yeah, everybody
You know?
thinks you should be them. And most of the people that think you should be them aren't anything resembling successful.
Honestly, it's the people you don't want to be. Honestly, and those people, get the fuck over yourselves.
Yeah. Like, dude, like, people have different goals, and that's okay. I'm not going to shit on anybody else's aspirations. But,
Don't put your shit on me, bro.
yeah, don't project what you want onto me because you don't even know how I'm keeping score in my game.
And it's almost like you're trying to like convince yourself by like trying to bring more people onto your bullshit that what you're doing is worth it. Like, bro,
You want to feel like, oh, my stuff is correct because all of these people support me and yours is wrong. You should change. Like, bro, my goal is to be a comic. And there's nobody when I'm talking in my own voice on stage that argues that I'm not a comic. I might be a comic having a bad night, but you're getting raw stand-up comedy with me. You know what I'm saying? It's not other people's
you're
stuff.
getting the Ben Daniel experience, goddammit.
Hate it or love it. And it's just, I don't want to sound like you on stage. I don't want to sound like Tommy Drake on stage. Like, God forbid, if I start sounding like y'all,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing me anymore.
And it's like, that sounds like good advice for you, bro. But it's like, yeah. Because there's a fine line between genuine advice and things you should take from people because it hits you different. But some things, it's just like blatant, like just dumb criticism or just unhelpful bullshit. You can sniff that out a mile away, honestly.
There's a difference between, hey, maybe stop telling X joke in Y market and stop saying fuck altogether. You know what I'm saying? Those are two different pieces of
It's like,
advice.
hey, you should learn this skill just to have this skill, but this one particular skill isn't the be-all, end-all, and it was going to make or break you. Like, no, bro, it's not how life works.
I swear, I had a headliner who I won't name be like, if you tell that Kobe joke on stage, nobody in Houston will literally ever book you again. And that was a year and a half ago. I've had a couple of gigs since then.
Just a couple, just a few, maybe one or two.
I get out there now and then.
Just be yourself, people.
That's kind of why I wanted to come back and do this with you again, because you're the most yourself person I know.
I am trying.
You're you
I'm
all the
trying my
time.
best, bro. I'm trying my best to like that person that I am and to expand upon that person and help him grow more. So I appreciate that.
Does it help you that other people like the person you are?
It should. It should more than it does. I think I just got to acknowledge it more.
Oh, congrats on the tattoo, by the way. Just, I don't know.
Thank you. But hey,
Yep.
my camera just turned itself off for a second. I think that's a good time to stop it. We're at an hour. Bro, Ben Daniel, thank God that we have you and we got to have you back.
Appreciate you,
This has
brother.
been Covered All with JamalRahal. Have a good one, y'all.